Bonjour
et bienvenue.
à nos petites catastrophes. Voyons popcorn.
Well, sophisticated intro back
And the French connection
and clever illusion.
is that the Alliance Francaise is holding French acting lessons for those of you wanting to work in Europe. And even if you're just a basic French speaker or just learning, you're still encouraged to apply.
Snakke de norske? It's Norwegian. The Scandinavian Film Festival is on the 23rd to the 29th of July. It's on at Cinema Paradiso, and be sure to head down with your surströmming and gammeldansk.
Fermented fish and morning schnapps? Right. Let's just seg straight into your interview, Chloe.
Hi guys, I'm here today with singer-songwriter Ryan Carson from the band Little Death. Ryan's recently returned from London, where he just recorded his debut album with internationally renowned producer Dimitri Tikovoy. Welcome to the show, Ryan.
Thank you for having me.
So Ryan, can you tell us a little bit about your music background and what Little Death's all about?
Yeah, well, I've been a professional musician for about 8 years, played in different touring bands, and I sort of stepped out onto my own and started doing my own stuff a bit more, and yeah, sort of led from there.
Obviously just finishing up recording in London, what was that experience like? You worked with some pretty big names over there.
Yeah, it was an honour to work with such talented people. I worked with a producer called Dimitri Tikovoy, as you mentioned. He's worked with Placebo on their Meds album. I worked with a guy called Neil Comer who mixed the album, and he worked with 30 Seconds to Mars, and I've also worked with Andrew Hughes, who worked on the recent Florence and the Machine record.
Being in London, how long does the whole process take, the recording process for the album?
Well, it takes about a month. I was in London for a month. I was 2 weeks, I was in a private studio, and then the next 2 weeks we went over to Notting Hill to a legendary studio called Psalm Studios there. We finished off all the overdubs and different instrumentation and stuff like that, so it was a really natural process.
Where is the rest of the journey going to be taking you?
Well, we're going to be doing a lot of touring, going to tour the country to the end of the year, and then early next year or mid-year we're going to be heading over to UK and Europe to tour the record, so we're just going to keep releasing singles, and then we release the album. Well,
thank you so much for being on the show. So guys, if you don't already know about Little Death, be sure to like their Facebook page.
Facebook.com/Little Death Music.
And guys, the single launch will be at the Rosemount Hotel on Saturday the 25th of July. It's an 18 plus gig, guys, and tickets are $10 on the door. Thanks so much for being on the show, Ryan.
Thank you for having me.
Cheers.
Cheers.
Talented guy. And if you want to check out Little Death's debut single Valleys, you can check it out and download it from www.tripljunearthed.com/artist/little-death.
And who did Olivia catch up with this week?
She caught up with Perth artist Steve Browne.
Hi guys, I'm talking today with Steve Browne, who's not only a well-known local visual artist, but who's also getting involved in the film industry. Welcome to the show, Steve.
Thank you.
So was visual art something you always wanted to do from a young age?
Yeah, it was something that I guess I felt attracted to when I was little. So I sort of started drawing when I was about 5, and I really liked cartoons and looking at Spielberg's, the way Spielberg did things when I was little. So,
cool.
Yeah, sort of really attracted to how things made me feel.
Could you tell us a bit about your Monsters as Friends art label?
Basically, the main aspect behind that is I sort of came to realization when, I don't know, actually a few years ago, that sometimes the things that we fear actually help us push us through life, help us to grow. Children learn fear from their parents and from adults, so I went through a stage where there was a lot of my work didn't have any adults in it, but I had children in situations with something that could be scary to an adult, but the child was curious rather than being afraid.
Now you've also been crossing over into producing and directing as well. Is that a new avenue for you, or something you've always been interested in?
Yeah, I mean, movies, again, going back to when I was younger, adventure films like Indiana Jones and Star Wars and Goonies, and as a kid I always sort of wanted to tell those sorts of stories, so I went and studied film in about 2006.
Okay.
And then came out, making sort of shorts, and as you do, just go and doing small things. And just sort of, so now I just do it as a hobby. I just like pointing cameras at people and making them do things.
Well, it's been so great chatting to you. I
too.
look forward to
Thank
seeing
you.
more of your work.
Thank you.
And we'll have the Facebook link up for Steve's page as well, or else you can find him stevebrowne.com. So, yep. Excellent. Thanks,
Awesome,
Steve.
thank you.
And speaking of art, here's a massive photobomb opportunity. Head on down to the Corner Gallery in Subiaco on the 24th of July. 5 artists are adding their own special flavour to a photograph. There'll be music and food, and the winner gets a cash prize.
I know who else needs cash. Starving actors. And if you can't afford those expensive 8-week courses, then why not go to the Blue Room Theatre and try one of their drop-in classes on a Monday night. They range between $15 to $25 depending on how many people attend, but it's a blast.
I'm sure we could all benefit from something like that, Chloe. And guys, remember, it's not for beginners. And for those of us who aren't starving, the fashion charity event of the year is on at Crown on the 31st of July, Styleaid. And make sure you check out the local artist design dresses up for auction. You could own a piece of wearable art.
See you there, Beck.
Really? And here's my interview with Rika Sharma from TV's The 100. Hi everyone, I'm here with Rika Sharma from the show The 100. Thanks so much for coming on the show.
My pleasure.
Sorry.
My pleasure.
So The 100, such an interesting story. Post-apocalyptic,
Yes.
An arc of children who've been sent to Earth, and they've run into some pretty interesting characters.
Yes, me being one of them.
Yes, you being one of them. So Dr. Lorelei, I think we've just ended season 2 recently here in Australia, so we're sort of on a bit of a cliffhanger.
Right.
Is there anything you can tell us?
No, I can't. I mean, Mount Weather is an interesting place and an interesting situation we have down there, with having been, unlike, them having been in space for 100 years, we've been under the ground for 100 years.
And you were on Battlestar Galactica as well?
Yes.
That must have been an amazing experience.
It absolutely was one of the best of my career, for sure.
So what's happening next for you? I mean, you're continuing on with the 100?
No, I'm done now with the 100. I can't really talk about it,
Oh, no, it's
but
a secret.
I've got a film. It's very early in development stages, but it's very exciting.
So are you a sci-fi fan, or did it just happen by accident that...
I am, but I didn't realize it really. It was like, I found myself doing this genre of work, and then kind of looked back and went, oh, wait a second, I used to go home after school, like in grade school, and come home and watch Star Trek.
Well, thanks so much for coming on the show, Rika. It's been
Thank
great
you.
talking to you, and hopefully we'll see you in Perth again.
I would love to come back. Perth is beautiful.
Well, thank you. Hopefully we will have you again, and enjoy the rest of the con.
Thank you. You too.
Thank you.
There was no dinosaur, but I'm sure you were rapt or pleased to meet them.
Very punny, Chloe, and yes, I was. And if you want to see the dinosaur connection, stay tuned after the credits.
Where Livy and I outwit the huntsman.
Yes. Anyway, good night from us, and don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Clever girl.